Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Andrea Eppy. So welcome back, everyone who's been doing these challenges during these 2 weeks. Today is day 7 of our 2-week challenge. It's Wednesday, and I have a very fun challenge for you guys today. So welcome to everyone in the chat. Hey Sam, Christina, we've got Julie, we've got Rosie, lots of familiar faces, Ariana, Christina. Welcome everyone. Richard. All right, so as always, if you guys have any questions about anything I'm doing while I'm designing, just let me know in that chat and I will reply to you. So let's go ahead and hop on over to Behance and we can see what today's challenge is. So as always, if you want to follow along with me, you can go to behance.net/challenge/XD. And we can go ahead and get started. All right, so as always, go ahead and sign up with this big blue button right here and you will get registered and be notified each day in your Creative Cloud app that there is a new challenge. So let's scroll on down and look at all of these challenges that we've done so far. All fall themed, lots of just like fall love this year. Love it. All right, so today what I want you guys to do, we're gonna be working on a check-in app. And keeping with the fall sort of theme, we're doing for an apple orchard. So design the ticketing and check-in experience for an apple orchard. We're going to prototype that experience where users can sort of fill out their payment info for goods and services. So let me give you a little sneak peek of what we're going to be designing. So this is our little prototype. Let me kind of get this out of the way. So think check-in, pretty much everything these days, we're checking in on mobile now instead of like with actual tickets. So I thought this would be a fun, relevant thing to do. So maybe we have 2 options on this home screen. First, you want to buy the tickets, obviously. So we've got the quantity of tickets, some payment info, things like that. And then of course you purchase it, gives you a little confirmation screen, and then sends you back to home. And then when you're actually there and you're like in line getting ready to go in the orchard, you would click Orchard Check-in. Got our little ticket already. We're so prepared. And then the worker will just scan it. Just click that. And it tells you, thanks for checking in. And you can go ahead on into the orchard. So that is the little flow we're going to be working on today. I don't have anywhere in particular in XD that we're really focusing on. I know usually I like to say like, hey, we're doing components today, or we're doing, character styles, whatever. But today, just general prototyping. So as always, you can grab that starter file, just hit that get started button, and this will bring you over to where we have our starter files. Just hit copy to your work. And then you will see that file in your own Creative Cloud files. Let's see, what else? As always, if you missed any of these streams, you can just go back and rewatch any bits that you want to kind of watch over again. And of course, we're live every day at 2 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to get feedback on any of your work, you can hop on over here to Discord. So this is the link, bit.ly/XD Discord. You can check that out for just to chat with everyone else or to get feedback on your work. So this is Discord, and if you do want feedback, just be sure to put it here in this current challenge channel. And we've got lots of amazing designs that you guys have been working on throughout these 2 weeks. I see Julie's right here. Haven't gotten a chance to look at this one yet, but we'll take a look at these more towards the end of the stream. I'll save a bit of time for that. So that is Discord. Let's hop into our design now. All right. So scrolling on over here, this is the starter file. As always, you can hop through the resource booklet, hop through some of those tabs if you want to see just some places where I find some of my favorite resources like icons and stuff. And yeah, some inspiration. So for this, since we're doing ticketing check-in, I think a lot of great inspiration for this really comes from like airlines. So they have got it down like pat because they have to get all these users on the plane really quickly. So they've just got only the like bare minimum of details, I feel like, that you need to get on the plane. You've got your boarding time, departing time, you know, what gate you're on and stuff. And then we've got our little QR code. So just bare details that we need. Don't try to overload it, really. So I think really any airlines, I feel like, does like a great job of that. This is another airlines example, so you can do more of a barcode sort of look. You know, just some more details and such, but feel free to look through those if you want. And yeah. All right, so tips from today. Let's see. So obviously a lot of our purchasing and check-in experiences, like I mentioned, are moving to mobile. So it's a good thing to kind of practice this check-in flow. And basically we just need to be able to do this the user needs to be able to do this very quickly, since they might be in line if they're at the register at like a grocery store, or maybe they're at a concert venue, just super quick, and then the worker can see it really quickly too. So make it easy for both sides to use, basically. All right, so just kind of setting everything up. I have 5 artboards here, and excuse me, normally I don't do this sort of thing at the top with the titles, but since we have a few more screens than usual, I thought it would be just helpful to kind of lay these out so we can see more from a high level view of like what the flow is going to look like. So home screen, obviously we're going to keep that pretty simple, and then a few screens for purchasing, and then a few screens for the check-in. So let's start on home, and I would just want to make this pretty simple for users. Home screen you never want to overload because it's the first time they're using the app. Really just keep it to the bare minimum. So I'm gonna say, like, give a little welcome message. Welcome to the apple orchard. Something like this. And I've got a few character styles over here. Let's see. And then I'm gonna bring this top one down just a bit in opacity because I don't want that really to be the main focus. But let's just center that a little bit up there. There we go. Welcome everyone in the chat that is just joining. Thank you, Ariana. She said, love that ticket design. Welcome, welcome. Oh, someone said I thought that I said chicken app. No. Making you hungry. I know, this is making myself hungry too. Check-in, check-in app. Let's see, on that note of food, let's add an apple since, you know, this is an apple orchard. We want to add some kind of illustration there, not leave it too blank. And I mean, I usually do start with menu, but I didn't do that today. Hamburger menu. I was recently talking with a developer on a project actually for some of my freelance work, and we were discussing whether the hamburger navigation buttons always had to be on the left or the right. He was saying normally they should always be on the left, but I personally think that maybe this is just because I'm right-handed. I think it's usually easier for your thumb to, you know, quickly get up there on the right side, but maybe it's just personal preference. All right, so let's have 2 buttons here. So one, of course, will be to buy tickets. Oh no, and I already made the component. Let me undo that so I can recreate it with you guys. Okay, so we've got just a button here. It's not a component yet, but now we're gonna make this a component because I want to just have a few different states of this button that we can kind of reuse and quickly change across all the artboards if we need to. So let's come over here. So I'm just gonna press this plus button right here, add a new state, and this one will just be the first one, buy tickets. And then this one will be for the actual check-in, and we'll delete that one again, of course, because that was my previous one with the components already ready. So let's add another state, and this will just say like check-in, check dash in, there we go. And we just want to come in here and say orchard check in, there we go. And then this one we can change to check-in. This one we can change to buy tickets. So now whenever we have another one of these buttons, if we need to use the same thing, we can just go into our states over here and switch it to whatever we want. And I'm gonna create a few more of these as we kind of work through the rest of these screens. All right, so second page, we've got purchase ticket. And let's just copy and paste. Actually, let's copy and paste that menu icon in all of these artboards. Oops. Just so we have that kind of out of the way. Oh, and I didn't mention, but in the background here, I thought it was a little empty at the top, so I wanted to add, that's my trick. Sometimes if it's a little empty in some area, I'll just add a super subtle little pattern. So in this case, it's just these little curvy things. Lower the opacity a lot, so it's got kind of the same color tone as the rest of the page, but that's my trick. Okay, so now we are on the purchasing tickets page. So we need a title that says like buy tickets. Can center that a little bit higher up here. I'll take this same font right here and just give a super short description. Super short. You don't want to have like a couple sentences here. Just like choose your quantity below. Whatever you think would be helpful. Let's see. There we go. A little bit smaller here. So 18 points. And I'm using Proxima Nova. I know you guys are always wondering what font I'm using. Okay, so I've got some more components over here. Let's drag in a card. So this we could kind of swipe up and down if we wanted to. And on here, this is where I want to put all of that payment information and like choose the quantity of the tickets and all of that. So let's start with some text. We'll say what the actual name of this ticket is. So Apple Orchard, oh, it's gray right now. Let's make that visible. There we go. We'll say Apple Orchard entrance. And I might need to wrap this around just to fit a little bit better. Okay. And then on the right side, we can add the quantity. So let's scroll. I have a little drop down here. We can bring this just right here on the right. Great. And let's add a little description about like what you get with your entrance. So obviously we're picking apples. So let them know how many like apples they get. Let's use body copy here. Maybe a little bit lighter. That's too light. I'll use this and just bring this down a little bit. Okay, so in the text here, we'll say, your ticket includes 1 bag of apples, maybe. To be determined what a bag equals, maybe like 6 apples or something. You could specify that if you want. And then let's just add a divider line here because below this, I want to have everything on one page for payment because if you have too many steps in payment, sometimes that will create drop off. You know, users will be like, oh, this is so much work. I'm just not going to bother. So the fewer amount of screens that you keep it to, the better I usually find. Okay, so down here, let's add some text for just some of those payment details. Card number, and we'll make this red to kind of keep with our Apple theme. And generally, I don't really go for red, especially as text. But I felt like, you know what, I never use red, hardly, but I thought today I would. But the reason for that is because red is generally reserved for things like notifications or a warning, something like that to kind of draw the user's attention. So that's why you really only see it on like, you know, your app icons with the little notification circle, things like that. So I try to use it pretty sparingly, but I'm going against my own rules today. Okay, so zooming in a bit here, we've got card number, expiration date, security code, you know, all the usual things. And let's add, I want to make a little form field that's kind of the same size as our drop down. And I'll just make this the same exact color. Let's see what the rounding radius on this, 6.75. So we'll do the same here. Guess I could have copied and pasted that, but that's okay. And then a little discover icon. And then let's see, let's add some text for like the last 4 numbers. Just fill that in with whatever. Make this a little bigger. And then usually it's like hidden, whatever your card number is, at least like everything but the last 4 digits. So we can just add some little dots for that. And I'm gonna use our handy dandy repeat grid. You know it. Let's see if we have enough room for all these. Okay, make this a little bit smaller. Whoop. Sometimes the circles I have found get a little bit wonky if you resize them after repeat grid. All right, this looks pretty good, I think. Okay. Move those over just slightly. All right, so that looks good. What else? Expiration date and security code. Let's add that. And maybe for this one, we don't want to show, let's just show like another state. So we've got the filled in completed state, and then let's also show what it would look like before it's completed. So it would be like month and year and security code over here. And these, since maybe the user hasn't filled those out yet, we can bring that opacity down pretty low. So it looks like it's still, you can still edit it. And then of course we need our CTA button. So what are we gonna do? Make another little CTA state in that button. So for this one, let's come over here, press that plus icon, add a new state, and this will say purchase. And here, what I want to do, let's bring this down so we can kind of see it in real time. I want to bring this button kind of much smaller, and I want to delete this little arrow, and we'll say purchase, because I want to make room for how much it costs over here. So let's make this red. We'll say $10. Is that the going rate for an apple orchard? I'm not really sure. I would think that sounds reasonable for a bag of apples. Okay, maybe we can make that a little bit longer. Fill up some more of that space. And we can bring this one back to buy tickets. All right, so next page is a confirmation page. So let's go ahead and center this. We'll say something like, thank you, thanks for your purchase, whatever, something like that. Just like friendly, letting them know, just a confirmation. And we can add some more text below this, something like, your tickets are now purchased. There we go. You'll be able to check in quickly when you get there. When you arrive, I guess. All right, and let's also center align this right there. And I've got a little ticket emoji, so let's add that. Okay. And then we can copy this. We need one more new state here, so let's bring this pretty far down here. Actually, I'll align it like with this button right here. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll come back to our main component. You'll notice whenever I'm making a change to the button states, always go back to that main component. So we'll make a new state, and this will say back to home. And then we can switch this to back to home so we can see it update in real life. And back to home. And we can just leave that little arrow. Okay. So that, the beginning part of this looks pretty good. Let's hop into the prototype tab here and just quickly add these triggers. So from buy tickets to, or from the home CTA buy tickets, we want to actually go to the buy tickets page, of course. And then once we purchase, That'll take us to our confirmation page. And then when we go back home, we'll bring it back there. And I also think I want to add a back arrow just on this buy tickets page in case they decide, I don't want to buy anymore. So always give them a way to get out of it if they want. And for the trigger, I'm just using tap for all of these. Just a regular transition and no animation. Generally with things like CTA buttons, you just want it to be pretty snappy, so go pretty quickly. And let's go ahead and preview what we got so far. We'll play this. Buy tickets. We fill out our quantity, card number, all of that. We purchase, and we've got our confirmation page. We go back to home. Awesome. So that part looks good. And let's see if we have time for the check-in part. So check-in. Once we actually arrive to the orchard, we've got a ticket right here that I've kind of already created. And just for kind of consistency, I'll add another little subtitle here. We'll say like, enjoy your day in the orchard. Okay, that looks nice. Maybe we can move these down just a bit. Cool. And what else? We can use a barcode at the bottom here, and then maybe copy and paste this. We'll say apple picking at the top of this this ticket. I do want to bring this down a bit because I don't want it to compete with the main title up here. So maybe 27 or so. Still kind of big, but that's okay. And then we'll say the date. So November and 10th. And these I'll bring down quite a bit as well. Maybe I'll make this just like regular. This one can be medium. Kind of center those there. And let's just add, for a little bit of contrast here, let's add a little bit of a background. Just bringing down that opacity on those. Cool, that's looking nice. Let's add a little dotted line here. So the top portion of this will be like details, bottom portion will be for the worker to kind of just quickly scan. And we'll add a dash, bring up the size a little bit, bring up the gap. Just kind of adjust it to however you feel like. Okay, that looks nice. Awesome. Paulo asked, isn't 11 typeface way too small for a digital interface? Actually, 11 is pretty much the sweet spot, I find. You can always come up here to you can like plug in your iPhone or whatever phone you have, obviously, and you can do device preview and see it real time. So I feel like that is really nice for checking out, your button sizes and everything, making sure it really looks good on the actual device. But 11 is generally pretty good, I feel. All right, so let's say like one adult ticket. We can make this a little smaller. Even, 16, this is pretty big, but kind of want to fill up this ticket here. And then we can say $10 is what we paid for it. And then maybe below this, just some details about like, just a reminder, you get 1 bag of apples per ticket. And what else? You must wear a mask in the field at all times. Okay, something like that. Just little details that they might need to know. And we can bring that down just a bit. And you could fill that in with, obviously, whatever else you want. But, oh gosh, we're running out of time. Let's hop quickly into the prototype tab, and we can link Orchard Check-In, that button, up with the check-in page. And then once they scan, maybe, that would be like automatic, but we could just click and bring that trigger over to our last page, and then we can have a confirmation page here. I don't know if I really have time for a confirmation page, but you get the idea. It would basically look something like this. Cool, let's just copy and paste this actually. This could be pretty much the same thing. I could say, thanks for checking in. Enjoy your time in the orchard. There we go. All right, so let's preview all of this. We're buying our tickets, purchase and everything, fill all that out. We purchase, great. We go back to home. And then once we actually arrive, we pull up our ticket, orchard check-in, someone scans it, and it says, thank you. Go ahead and start looking in the field. So there we go. All right, so Command S to save. I always forget to do that till the very end. As always, if you want to export this as an MOV file, just come up here to record and you can start recording and it'll show you like clicking around and stuff, and you can upload that to Behance if you want. I don't have time, unfortunately, to review some of you guys' work on Discord right now on the stream, but I'll definitely look at it after this and give you guys feedback. So please continue to keep sharing your work over there in that current challenge channel. And that is about all the time that I have for today. Don't go anywhere, because in about 5 minutes, we've got our draw along with Kyle Webster, and I'll be back here again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. Have a great day, guys. Bye.